Want my latest market insights? My latest report, Sentiment Has Turned, is now available. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description. Anyone remember my Meta price tag into, and I said 252, 262, which is right up here, right after this lovely pullback. When it started to roll over, let's kind of go backwards before we go forwards. This was already starting to intonate a rollover. It had a very weak bounce right back into this trigger level, which basically it needs to get and stay back below 741, let's call it. And it did. In fact, it had this stunningly gorgeous breakdown below the 200-day. And I said, well, that's very bearish. So the breakdown below 200-day brings into focus this 606.97, which you can see right here, happened to be a gap fill. You know me and gap fills. It's not if, just when. So anyway, long story short, this was a fabulous breakdown below the 200. It ran into that 606 daily gap fill, got right back above. Also on the weekly, you can see where it came down into this kind of magenta level, and that is basically the 100 week. You got to go level by level. You usually have 50, then 100, then 200. Point is, we had a nice reflexive bounce last week, and everything did. 5 days of lovely, lovely reflexive bounces that was much bigger. The market has not seen a 40% pullback in VIX in 1 week in many, 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 many years. So it was a very strong bounce. Anyway, a lot of these were perfectly poised anyway for bounce, but they had a stronger than usual bounce. So anyway, I gave this level of 662.67, which is a little specific, but it just happens to be a weekly price target. So we have hit a lot of the long price targets, honestly, but this morning I wasn't expecting it to go above it. So the news is Meta stock basically is up this morning 6% or so after Zuckerberg said the company is looking at cutting metaverse efforts by up to 30%. So they get rid of that cost center and that makes them more profitable, and the market prices in that wonderful management decision of increasing jobless claims, which never get increased. Anyway, the market is honestly has been waiting for this forever, which is so funny. No, seriously, this was already priced in for years now. Metaverse has been dead on arrival. So now the fact that Zuck just says, okay, we're going to cut 30% of Metaverse, which we already knew was dead on arrival, and now the stock is screaming higher, 6-7%, is hysterical to me. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever the reason, whatever the narrative, we got up. You're going to see very soon this weekly of 662 and change. So guess what that means? It's a really great short trigger. So right now, if you do happen to have options, it would not, in other words, if you're long options into this 662, 663 level, which also happens to be the 10 week, it's kind of the convergence of the 10 and the 50. If we were to somehow on this bogus news get and stay above 663, we'd have a little continuation. But the reality is that this is a bogus press release the market algos are responding to. So long story short, if you do happen to have options that are directionally long on this puppy and you want to lock that in before waiting for profit taking, then you could short the stock like right here, right now. So you just reached a high of a 687. Would not surprise me one bit if that sucker comes right back down to this 662, 663 level really quickly. Also, that's the weekly view. This is the hourly intraday pre-market view. Take a look right here. You got the 200-day that's coming right into view. What is the 200-day? Isn't that kind of cute? Let's take a look. The 200-day is 671.78. Let's call it 672. So pretty much where it's hitting its head right now. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to stop there. It could absolutely digest right here. See that one? I'm going to do this number 2 over here. Take a look. There we are. So see this 682.58? That's where it hit. That's your channel right in here. It's obviously extended pre-market. That's what you need to get back above to be bullish. But right now it's in a Bollinger Band. That is going to be standard deviation. Likelihood is that it comes back inside. So you're hitting the 100-day. You've got the 200-day, the 55-day. You've got Bollinger Band. Some massive amount of resistance right here. At 200-day, 672 to 8 to 682. So that $10 right here is a lot of resistance. And it's above my 662 price target, which is hysterical, which I don't think is going to hold. So that's just an idea that it can come on down. Now, if it was good news, that 200-day, I'd be very, very bullish. Anyway, congrats for those who are long. Your options are going to print this morning. Oh, look at that. See? Bingo. market direction, sector rotation, and stocks. And then, of course, if it's real or not. And so much of this market is so not real. But knowing and being able to differentiate, I think that's a superpower. I don't know what else. That's just, yeah. So congrats. Hopefully that helped. Short that, because that is just not a sustainable press release. I love the market. It tries to trip you up, but I'm still laughing about this. Anyway, it's going to be 662.67. That's exactly what it should be on that bogus little press release. And then resistance was already discussed. It's a great short to lock in your gains if you're long those calls, or just a short. It's an expensive stock, but I would not be surprised if that doesn't go all the way back down to 650. I'm not kidding. Look at this. Come on, the metaverse was a joke in the first place, but then having a press release about it, that's just added salt in the wound. Come on. Anyway, hope you're having fun with that. Digesting that 663 area pretty well. This is that gap up right into the 200, but it's hard to get and stay above it.
Join Club today to engage with Samantha and her team of 10 experts. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more live trading room recap videos and other content.